at the base of the Grand Somme, the fourth tallest peak in the mountain chain known as the Massif de la Chartreuse, is a beautiful, stunning monastery called La Grande Chartreuse. It's built by Saint Bruno, where he founded his religious order, the Carthusians. And it's the mother house of the Carthusian order. And it is here that Saint Bruno felt called by God to live a life of quiet contemplation, to live a life of silence. Why would anyone want to live in silence? St. John of the Cross, a Carmelite who lived several centuries after St. Bruno, wrote, "Silence is God's first language." St. John of the Cross also lived a life of contemplation and quietude. St. Bruno recognized that if you want to hear God's voice, you have to silence your own. And so at the base of this mountain, the Grand Somme, in stunningly stark, beautiful countryside, away from all urbanity and simply entering into the mysticism of God's creation, is nestled the stunningly beautiful monastery where the Carthusian monks live their daily life by work and by prayer, each of them living alone in what is known as a cell. And that cell has for them a prayer room, a bathroom, a bedroom, and then underneath, a workroom. Each of them has a small door that leads to the outside. They have a small courtyard, but there's a wall that separates them from their neighboring monk. They also have a small little window door, if you will, inside each cell, and that's where the food is given to them, their daily meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's passed into this little receptacle. The monk from inside receives it and then places it back there. They have very little interaction with one another, with the exception of Mass, of course, and perhaps an outing every now and then in the company of the other monks. But that is also done in silence. To hear God's voice, you have to silence your own, because silence is God's first language. Saints in the making, take some time today. Listen to the voice of God by quieting your own voice to hear what God has to say to you and how you might fulfill his will. It's not easy being silent at all. But when you and I are silent and therefore able to hear God's voice, it will only be because you and I have made space for grace.